So hi everyone, we'll welcome you all into our webinar here this evening on International Business and Languages, TU965. So we'll kick off then this evening's webinar. So you're very welcome to join us this evening for our International Business and Languages webinar. So we hope for all of those of you who have it on your CAO that this will help you make an informed decision when it comes to either moving it up to your first choice or whether it comes to accepting your offer. And for those who haven't yet added it to their CAO, we hope this will help you make an informed decision. So we'll have a quick introduction to TU Dublin and who we are. I will then pass you over to my colleague, Catherine Spencer, who will introduce the programme and give you a little bit more information. And then we will meet our two student ambassadors then towards the end who are going to share their experience. So we have a second year student who's currently in the programme and a recent graduate. And then we will open it up to questions and answers. So the webinar this evening is being recorded and it will be circulated afterwards along with any of the important links or information provided, and you'll be able to view it back. And we will open the chat towards the end of the webinar to give you a chance to ask all your important questions. So who we are is TU Dublin. So we're Ireland's largest university, and we offer programs from apprenticeship level right up to PhD. So the program we're talking about today is a level 8 honours program. It is based in Angel Street, and we'll show you the campus now in a moment. And across the university, we have 3,500 staff members and just shy of 30,000 students. But while we have a large student population, we still keep our small class sizes. And we have a mix of both national and international students with 138 different nationalities represented. And we have 5 campus locations. So why choose TU Dublin? Well, as I mentioned, we're Ireland's first technological university and one of the largest universities in Ireland. We have a long tradition of academic excellence and we are very well respected by our industry employers. And I know Catherine's going to tell us a little bit about that in terms of the work placements and the graduate employers afterwards. So really good industry support. We're a very large university, but we keep those small class sizes. So you're not just a number, you're known by name. You get that intimate class experience where you can ask your lecturers questions and engage with them. And we're a very practice-based led university. So Lara can tell us all about her upcoming semester abroad, and it gives you an opportunity to be able to put into practice the skills you're learning. So it's not just all about sitting in a lecture hall learning the theory. You also get to then apply that to the real world. And we also offer the ladder progression. So on finalising your level 8 studies, you can then progress on to your master's and PhD level. And for those of you who are joining us internationally, you might recognise some of the other technological universities internationally. MTU is our other one here in Ireland, Munster Technological University. But there's other across the globe, such as Tokyo University of Technology, Technical University of Munich, Tennessee's Tech University. So many technical universities. So we have university standing and our degrees are internationally recognised. And we have 5 university campuses across Dublin, but the one we're going to focus on today is our Angel Street campus. It is based up near the famous Stephen's Green shopping centre. It's really accessible by public transport. You have the Lewis, which is our light rail line, that'll bring you right up near it. Lots of bus stops out on the local streets, and very easy as well to commute and to walk to if you're staying in Dublin city centre. We also have a representation across 12 different disciplines at our university. And again, where we're looking at today is within the languages section. And it's not just all about your academic studies, but there's also much more to student life here in TU Dublin. So we have a number of sports and leisure clubs. So no matter what you're interested in outside of your studies, it's a great way to get to meet new people and to also get to learn new skills, get involved maybe in a sport you already love, or maybe pick up a new sport that you've never tried before. So we've 40 different sport clubs to choose from, and they range from high elite level right down to complete beginners. So as I mentioned, if you already are interested in playing and participating in a sport, you can join it at that level. We have campus-specific teams, we have level-specific teams, or just beginners and some drop-in sessions where you can try something new. So you can see a selection of them there. We have boxing, sailing, GAA, which is the Irish football, swimming and skiing, and lots of the clubs and societies will organise their own trips throughout the year, their own get-togethers, and we have a clubs and societies festival at the start of every year, which gives you a chance to meet them all. And alongside then our sports is our societies. So if sport's not your thing, there's lots of other different societies you can get involved in where you can meet like-minded people. Again, a great way to socialize outside of your own program, get to try something new, get to try something you're interested in. And while we have hundreds of societies already, if the society you want isn't there already, it's very easy to set one up and the Students' Union will support that. But we have everything you can see there: dance, chess, circus, DJ, astronomy. We also have things like the Tea Drinking Society, where they meet up to share cups of tea, the Disney Society, if you're a fanatic about that. So again, so many different areas that can enrich your experience outside the classroom. And alongside that, then we have a dedicated set of student supports to support you during your time here in TU Dublin. So we have a career guidance office, and we actually have an upcoming careers and employability webinar happening tomorrow at lunchtime. And they go through all about like CV preparation, how to do your LinkedIn. They'll help you then set up if you need help with a work placement or a graduate program. And they hold different career fairs as well throughout the year. We also have a free health centre, so we have a nurse and doctor on site in our campuses. So if you need vaccines, if you need a checkup, if you're feeling under the weather, you can avail of those. We have a financial aid and accommodations office. So if you're looking for some accommodation, we don't have our own on-site accommodation, but we do have partnerships with some private accommodation services that they'll help you with. And financial aid, if you're looking for grants or any support, or the Student Assistance Fund in exceptional circumstances. And alongside that, we also have other academic support, such as the Maths Learning Centre, which is great if you need support in any of your accounting or finance modules, and the Academic Writing Centre. So we know for a lot of people, you're coming in, the whole way to write an assignment is completely new to you. So the Academic Writing Centre is there to help you with your assignments, and later in the years, help you with your thesis or any of your professional projects. And then we have disability services as well if you need extra support, such as extra time in your exams, a reader, a quiet room or space, and the counselling service as well. So all of these different services and all the information about TU Dublin that you could possibly need are under our dedicated CAO hub. So you'll find this on our website, tudublin.ie/CAO. And you can find out all about the different application routes, the here and there schemes for access. We also have a sports scholarship you can check out if you're playing sports at elite level. You can find out about deferred entry, advanced entry, international applications, and Erasmus. So a wealth of information there. So thank you for listening to that piece. And I'm going to pass you on to Catherine now, who is going to talk to you about the programme itself. And I'll be back later to speak with our student ambassadors. So over to you, Catherine.
Thanks very much, Megan. And you can move on to the next slide, please. So good evening, everybody. Delighted to have you here this evening and very happy to hear that you're interested in the TU965 programme, which is the Bachelor of Arts Honours in International Business and Languages. I'm Catherine Spencer, Discipline Lead in Language Studies, which is in the Faculty of Arts and Humanities. And I'm joined this evening by my colleague, who's the Programme Coordinator, along with a colleague of business, and that's Odette Gabaudan, who is a French lecturer in language studies as well. So we're very happy to have you here and hope we can give you some clarity about the programme so that you're really clear when it comes to making your choices for CAO. As Megan has said, this programme is offered on the TU Dublin Ainger Street campus And as Megan has mentioned as well, it's very central. It's a city centre location. And I suppose before I talk about the programme, I thought it might be an idea just to give you some insight, I suppose, into where the programme might be located in the higher education landscape. So this programme is very much informed by the National Strategy for Foreign Languages in Education, which is a national strategy to really address the need for language skills in Ireland. It's also informed by various national and European strategies and policies which really try to focus on the international dimension of education. So that's all kind of built into how we approach the programme as well. And also, I suppose, to point out to you that TU Dublin is a member of the European University of Technology Alliance. So very much at a European level, that connectivity, that European and international perspective, that is all part of this programme too. So the TU965 programme. I will begin by giving some key features perhaps of the programme. The first is that it's a dual discipline programme, combining language studies and global business. That makes it quite distinctive. So unlike other programmes where business is combined with language study, this programme is really 50-50 in terms of the focus on language studies and global business. The requirement for the programme, and the only requirement, is a H4 in one of the languages at Leaving Cert level or the equivalent. The programme consists of mandatory modules and options. And again, quite distinctive for this programme is the opportunity for you to choose to study 2 languages. So that's quite unique and quite distinctive for a programme of this type. So students, when they enter the programme, continue with the study of the language that they have studied to Leaving Cert level, and they can also begin a new language or continue with the second language at that point in the programme. So it's quite unusual, quite distinctive, and quite exciting really that this programme offers you the opportunity to study 2 languages throughout the 4 years of the programme, if that's your choice. Other students might choose to focus on 1 language. The programme also gives you an opportunity to experience your learning in smaller groups. So that's perhaps obviously the case in the language classes. It's a nice experience, I think, in first year that you really have good opportunities to get to know other students. And also on the business side of the programme, you may have lectures where you might be in with a larger group of students, but you also have tutorials built into the programme as well. So you really do benefit from that smaller group experience. The year abroad, another distinctive feature of the programme. This is a compulsory year abroad, a mandatory experience for you in 3rd year. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's absolutely a highlight for most students, and it's very highly regarded by employers in particular, and it's a great experience for students, a really transformative learning experience. And I'll delve into this a little bit more later on, but really because you study 2 disciplines in this programme, you have a very wide range of career options and directions open to you. And students don't always know when they enter the programme what direction they might go, what their career choice might be. So it really gives students lots of options, lots of directions, lots of possibilities. So we could go to the next slide, I think. Yeah. So as I've said, International Business and Languages, very much a programme that's quite distinct in terms of what's out there. Language Studies accounts for 50% of the programme, and International Business modules account for the other 50% of the programme. And that continues throughout the course of the programme. So on the business side, you develop a high level of knowledge and skill in several areas of international business, so that you are equipped to work, to operate in, to perform in many different sectors. This combines with modules, learning, experiences on the language studies side of the programme. And over the course of the programme, you acquire, develop and demonstrate a very comprehensive set of competences and professional language skill. And this is in all areas: written skills, oral skills, reading skills, and listening skills. So this combination, this interplay, I suppose, also between the two disciplines enables you to operate with confidence, competence in your chosen language, or possibly two languages. Now, this is quite a busy slide, and it's really to give you an idea of the range of options and modules and subjects, I suppose, that you will study over the course of the 4 years of the programme. So if we look at the languages curriculum on the left-hand side, in your first year, the module you would be studying, if you have done this language to Leaving Cert, is French, German, Spanish, Italian, or Irish 1A. So when you enter the programme, you continue to study the language that you have chosen to study to Leaving Cert level, and this is complemented by another module in that same language. So if you're studying French, you've done it to Leaving Cert, you choose this option in first year, and you also have a module called French and Francophone Studies. So these two modules complement each other. And in first year as well, you have the option then to begin a new language, or if you have studied two languages to Leaving Cert level and you have the H4 requirement, you can continue to study both of those languages. So that language choice is continued into second year. You build on what you've learned in first year. First year is a foundation year, lots of skills, lots of competences that you've acquired through your study up to Leaving Cert level are revised, reviewed, developed, and extended. In second year, you can continue with your language choices, or you may decide to discontinue one of the languages of study, and you may choose other options, such as intercultural studies or linguistics or a cinema option. In third year, you have the requirement to study abroad. You may study at one of our partner universities. You might choose an English language assistantship, or you might pursue a work placement. And I will talk a little bit more about the third year a little bit later on. And then in fourth year, the module, so when you return from your year abroad, the module that's required in fourth year is a language for professional purposes module. So this really builds on what you have learned during your study or your work abroad in third year, and really develops and advances that competence. And then in fourth year, you have a range of different options to choose from in those languages. You may choose translation modules, modules which look at current and contemporary affairs. There's a module on digital pedagogy, literary and film modules, and professional writing skills. So there's a really wide range of choices for you to choose from as you go through the program. And on the business side as well, so you can see here the different modules that are on offer from year 1 to year 4 on the program. And again, you can see the progression, and very much in these business modules, an international, global focus. So that really it's the combination of these two sets of modules, these two sets of courses that you really acquire very much skills that are very much in demand in the workplace. If we go on, Megan. Okay, so the year abroad. This is by far, I think it's safe to say, a highlight for most students. It is a full academic year where students may choose to study at one of our partner universities. We have about 35 partnerships with different universities around Europe and in China. Some students choose to do a work placement, and some students choose to do an English language assistantship, where they may be supporting teachers teaching English in either primary schools or secondary schools abroad. So students benefit enormously from a totally immersive experience in the language, in the culture, and in the student or work life of the country in which they're studying or working. If you're studying, for example, you may choose, or you have to choose, language, cultural and business modules in the target language, so in the language that you're studying. So it's a very, very important year for students. It's very helpful. It's essential really for students to really take that step that's required for them to come back into fourth year and have that kind of professional competence. It's a very enjoyable experience. It's very exciting for many students. It's the first time that they've possibly lived away from home. And it really is a very, very, it's one of the most, certainly a highlight for most students, and they will certainly talk about it. And sometimes they're even reluctant to come back into fourth year. So it's a great experience for students. In terms of how we prepare you and support you for that experience, because it is big and it is a challenge and it's not necessarily easy. But throughout first year, students learn about the partnerships that we have. They learn a little about the options that might be available to them in third year. And then throughout second year, we have regular meetings with students. We have an Erasmus coordinator who really supports students in their journey, in how they prepare for going abroad, in how they make their choices about what kind of study abroad or work abroad experience they would like. And while students are away in third year, they complete a business project for us here in TU Dublin, and they're also supported in their language learning and also in their experience through an online language module. So all in all, a very transformative experience, very highly rated by employers and students. That's a big highlight. Some of the skills and attributes that graduates acquire are well recognized and well researched. Skills like cultural awareness, critical thinking, that ability to communicate with diverse audiences, very highly rated. Some employers talk about the resilience that students demonstrate when they experience this study or work abroad. They acknowledge too that it's not necessarily easy. It takes a lot of guts. It's a challenging experience for many students, but it's incredibly valuable. The additional foreign language skills is very often an additional criterion for employers when interaction is required with international customers or with stakeholders. And very often the language competency that graduates of this programme have is a key differentiator when applicants apply for different roles. And we've had recent feedback from some of our recent graduates, and that has been their experience, that the language is very often the key differentiator for them when it came to applying for their first jobs, for example. We know too that multilingual skills, are in demand, and that, and it's also one of the key competences that's recognised by the European Council for personal fulfilment, for employability, to be an active citizen, and for social inclusion. So there's lots of very good reasons to learn a language, and that's certainly important on this programme. Thanks, Megan. So, graduates from this programme, because of the dual disciplines, because of the two disciplines, the fact that students acquire competences and skills and knowledge, both in language studies and in international business, the range of opportunities for employment for TU965 graduates is actually very broad. And here you can see a listing of the various areas or sectors where our graduates have found employment. So multinational corporations and tech companies, for example, in financial services, in banking, in accounting services. Some of our students go into education. Many have chosen, for example, more recently to do the professional masters in education. So they are developing teaching skills and qualifying as teachers, both in business and in the language that they have studied, because the proportion of study that's achieved on the programme enables students to pursue that, for example. So students can go on and do teaching in both of the disciplines. Lots of students go on and get roles in marketing, in social media, in international hotel groups, in the travel and tourism sector. So there's it's a very, very broad field really. And that's actually quite attractive to students. Some students are not 100% clear when they come onto the programme what kind of area they might like to eventually end up in. So it gives students lots of options and lots of directions really. Next slide. And to perhaps give further examples here, we've done a little bit of research over the last couple of years, in particular with graduates from the last 3 or 4 years. And you can see here the different types of roles that our graduates have chosen and the kind of roles where our graduates are currently working, the range of different companies. So sales, associates in different organizations, in marketing roles, in financial roles. So lots of opportunities there for students. And also our students have gone on to do postgraduate study in a whole range of different areas as well. So again, here you can see in the list, risk management, strategic management, economics, fashion management, luxury brand management, and many of our students go on also and have achieved success in graduate programs. So working alongside other students from lots of different disciplines on these graduate programs operated by some of the larger companies. Yeah. So to conclude, a couple of key items perhaps for you to think about. What this program offers, it provides you with opportunity to develop and practice and demonstrate communicative professional competence in a foreign language or in 2 foreign languages. It enables you to study wider social, cultural, political issues so that you really acquire global and international perspectives. You acquire disciplinary knowledge and know-how in international business so that you're equipped to work in various sectors. We certainly promise you enjoyment and excitement in your learning, and the year abroad is a big feature of that. And we also offer you, along with some of what Megan mentioned earlier on in relation to the bigger TU experience, TU Dublin experience, we also have very particular opportunities for you to get involved, to engage with students in second level schools, for example, as student ambassadors. We have peer learner initiatives in place, and some of our students have taken part in blended learning programs with students in other European universities. So lots of opportunities and lots of learning, and hopefully an enjoyable program. We have 2 students. Megan, sorry, I didn't, this video is a video recorded, I think last year, 18 months ago, where you can find out a little bit more about the program and really hear more from our students. This video has interviews with three of our students from last year, 4th year students from last year, along with graduates from the last couple of years, and it will give you further insight into the program. And certainly please do access this video. It's available on the CAO hub on the TU Dublin website. Thank you. And I think we'll hand over now to one of our students. So we have with us Lara Kelly, is a 2nd year student, nearing the end of semester 2 and exams looming, but Lara is very much looking forward to her year abroad next year.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for it.
Okay. And I think, Megan, you have questions, do you, for Lara?
I do, yes. So I suppose, Lara, if you want to kick us off maybe by just introducing yourself, letting them know how your student experience has been so far.
Yeah, so my name's Lara Kelly and I'm a 2nd year student. So I've been in the programme for 2 years now, and I actually couldn't speak any more highly of the programme. There's just so much on offer. I actually did previously study another program, but this just kind of blows it out of the water. There's so many career opportunities. You can really gain so much from it. So it's definitely one to put at the top of the CAO.
Brilliant. And when it came to making your CAO choice, Lara, was this your first choice? Did you always think you were going to study languages?
Yeah, I think I initially wanted to be a dentist or something like that. So my CAO, I was never 100% sure what I wanted to do. Like it really did range with a lot of different kind of courses, and I was really unsure kind of what I wanted to do. So I was looking at this one and I was like, there's so many doors that can open from doing this course. I remember I was looking at a couple of different courses and they were very linear. You're nearly deciding in 6 year, okay, this is going to be my life, because there's really only maybe 2 or 3 careers or lines that you can go into. Whereas this one, I think it's the most career opportunities I have seen from any courses. And I was very familiar with the CAO back when I was looking. So
And was languages something you always had an interest in growing up, or was it only kind of when you had to pick your language in secondary school, or what's kind of your background with languages?
yeah, so I actually went to an all Irish school. So I did actually have a good bit of experience, with English and Irish and stuff like that. And I just really enjoyed German actually through secondary school. I thought it was really interesting learning another language, especially one that you can really progress with on the business side of things. So yeah, I've kind of always had a bit of an interest, definitely.
Brilliant. What attracted you to TU Dublin in general? Was it the program or was it the university that attracted you first?
Yeah, I think initially it was the program. And then, like it can be really overwhelming on the CAO, and you're looking and you're like, oh my God, there's so many universities. I don't know where to go. So it's nice to kind of pick out your program, see if that's something you want to do, and then really look into the university, see where it's located. That's a big one for Ainger Street. Like I like to call the city my campus. I know we might not have accommodation and stuff like that, but I mean, you really couldn't get any more central than this. So yeah, I kind of just started looking into TU Dublin and I was like, oh my God, like there's 5 locations. I can actually go to the library in any of them. Like Tala would be quite close to me. So on days that I don't feel like, making the journey into town, I can utilize all of Tala's facilities as well. So it is really handy the way it's kind of all scattered all over Dublin, really, TU Dublin.
I think that's a great point as well to mention, Lara. So, for anybody listening, once you have a TU Dublin student card, it gets you access to all of 5 of our campuses. So, as Lara said, if you live closer to one and want to use the gym or the library or just go in and use study space, you have that opportunity. So, you really are so lucky. You get 5 campuses for the price of one, basically, here at TU Dublin, which is great. And maybe more on the day-to-day side of things, Lara. So people
Yeah.
will be thinking, okay, I'm used to being in school 5 days a week from 9 to 4. That's the routine. Is that what I should expect here? Or what has your experience in first and second year been like timetable wise?
Yeah, I think an important thing to note as well is like you are choosing to do this. You're not forced to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and forced to go to school every day. You can be studying some subjects that you don't want to study. So that is important to note, that the college life is completely different. Like it's really you make the choice to go in every day. It doesn't feel like your mom is kind of pushing you to go. I think as well the layout of the course is really nice. It's not too full on. Like I remember in first year I actually had Fridays off, which was really nice if you wanted to work or just study. And it was just, yeah, I think even the way the languages are scattered throughout the week, so it's kind of like staggered learning. You're kind of getting to use your language throughout the week, so it's not all kind of blocked together, which I know it can be sometimes in secondary school. And in first year, it's quite nice because you do get a taster, so kind of a general overview of business. You're not thrown into specialities or anything like that. It's kind of a nice introduction into modules, because I didn't actually study business for the leaving cert. So it was kind of nice to be eased in. And then in second year, I'm doing a lot more kind of in-depth business kind of subjects now. So it just kind of progresses as you progress, if that makes sense.
And on the business side, then, was there any particular business module that you started thinking, oh, I wouldn't like this, and actually have found you've really enjoyed it?
Yeah, I actually think a really surprising one was accounting in 1 year. I was good at maths in secondary school. I wasn't great at maths. So I know it can be quite daunting, especially I think if you're really good at languages, you may not be as good with the mathematical side because it's using different parts of your brain. But the accounting, I have to say, the lecturer that we have is really, really good. He goes really nice and slow. He actually uploads videos for accounting so that you can look back on, because I always find that very difficult with maths and stuff like that. You leave like the class and you're like, oh my God, how did he get here? So you can actually review that, see how he got there, and just do it in your own time. Like it's really good. So accounting, I actually ended up enjoying it by the end of the year. So that was a surprise.
That's always good to hear. I
Yeah.
think that's something people don't realize. They go in thinking, oh, there's modules that I don't think I'm going to like. And actually, the ones you don't think you're going to like are the ones that can turn out to be the enjoyable ones. So
Exactly.
that's a great testament to it. And I suppose, look, the most important thing everyone's going to be asking about, and as Catherine alluded to earlier, is the year abroad. So you are in your preparations now for your year abroad starting in September. So can you give us a little bit of background? Where are you going? What are you planning on doing?
Yeah, of course. So I know you've heard that there were 3 different options that you can do. So I personally am going to be doing an internship. So I'm going to be going to Berlin in Germany, which I'm really excited for. I can't wait. It's only, I think, 4 or 5 months now. We have gotten a lot of preparation for this. We have a whole module, obviously that's not graded, but like dedicated to explaining and going through kind of all the paperwork and stuff like that. So if you think it's going to be daunting or anything like that, it really isn't. It's like really kind of slow paced. You're introduced to it in first year, and then it kind of progresses in second year. So I think it's an amazing opportunity, really, and you can kind of do what you want with it. Like if you would prefer to study in a university and, you know, really immerse yourself in university life in another country, you can absolutely do that. Or if you want to like work in a, if you're thinking education is the career that you want to go to, like in the LA, that's an English language assistantship, that's a great opportunity as well, because you're really getting the experience for that. Or you can source a traineeship or an internship yourself and kind of, you know, get a taster for maybe what you would want to do in a career. So it's a great opportunity.
And on that exact note, then, Lara, talking about what you might want to do, I know it's still early days for you
Yeah.
yet, still in second year, and obviously your year abroad is going to give you a great insight into the area, whether you're going to enjoy it or not. But have you any ideas maybe what you might like to do?
Yeah, I'm actually like going back to the accounting thing. I thought, you know, working with numbers would never really be up my street. But the internship that I'm doing specifically is going to be real estate investment funding. So I think it'd be kind of nice that it's like to go into a career that isn't just numbers, it's like numbers and relationships and kind of building that kind of business relationship. So that's kind of the route, the general route, I should say, that I'm thinking. But again, like I don't have to decide now. I still have plenty of time. Like I could change my mind tomorrow. So there's no pressure to actually decide until you really walk out the TU Dublin doors after 4 years.
Exactly, and absolutely no pressure. We're not asking you to commit to a career here
Yeah.
today, but we'd be very excited to follow up with you when you're finalized and see where your career did take you. So maybe you can come back in a few years and join us on one of these as our graduates.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So just to wrap it up there, Lara, is there any piece of advice, you're not long now out of, having to make that CAO choice and pick what you were going to do. Any advice to students out there who maybe are still unsure or not really sure what to do next, what you would give them?
Yeah, I think, just really kind of look into the career opportunities of whichever course you do decide, because if I had have done that really in depth, I kind of wouldn't have spent 2 years maybe doing something that I didn't want to do. But again, like it's not the end of the world. You have enough pressure on you at the minute. Don't add any more pressure. Like you will get where you need to go. And I just would really recommend this course. So like I'm a student, like this unbiased opinion, this is personal experience. I just think that it's absolutely amazing. Like I can actually speak 4 languages now. So if I'm going to go for a job, say in accounting or something like that, and someone who has studied business or any business related course, goes for the same job, but I can speak 4 languages, I do think that I would kind of get a little bit ahead of that person. So I think, like, I know it's kind of thought that the business world is quite saturated. Oh, everyone studies business. They do, but no one studies business and languages. So I think that's a good one.
Absolutely. And I think you'll have absolutely no problem. You'll be snapped up now by a graduate employer at the end. And it doesn't matter where in the world you want to go, you'll have plenty of language skills to get you along the way.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Lara, for sharing your story and experience with us. And I just want to check, I think we have Fauzia, one of our recent graduates, on the call, if they're able to put their camera on. Hi, Fauzia. Oh, you're on mute.
Hiya, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So you are one of our recent graduates of the program. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're working now.
So my name's Fauzia. I graduated from IBL in 2023. So from graduating, I went straight into beauty, and from beauty, I'm currently doing my second year of final year aesthetics in laser hair removal and IPL therapy. Right now, I'm currently working in the Castleknock Hotel. I'm a beauty therapist, but I also do a lot of PR, marketing, coffee mornings for the spa. And I typically do a lot of translation for clients. I do a lot of bookings through mainly Spanish because that was my main language. When I was in IBL, and I do work again with other departments in terms of sales and in again sales, marketing, and we kind of look at our finance for the year in terms of managing incentives for other staff members. So I'm in a more kind of supervisor marketing role. They kind of have me everywhere, but I think that is because I am the only person within the spa that has that business background. So they've really taken advantage of the fact that I have the business experience as well as my languages as well.
I think it's fantastic to see all the transferable skills that you could take with you from the program and how they've come into your career and what an asset that has been in your role that you're in. So it's fantastic to show people that it's not just a language program. It's not just about going into just translations or going into just business. Like, it opens a variety of doors. And that's a perfect example of how you can blend something you're really interested in, a passion you have, with the skills that you've learned. So that's fantastic to hear. So with that then, could you tell us what was your favorite part of the course and your time on the program?
I'd have to say definitely going abroad. It was really interesting being fully immersed. Like before that, I hadn't really traveled. I actually had a fear of flights. So it definitely forced me to kind of get over that, go to a new country, learn to adapt. Final year, or not final year, year abroad will teach you a lot of resilience and a lot of empathy as well. And that's what I found when I did come back. So it was a challenging year, but every day was exciting. Opening up a bank account, kind of understanding how politics works in a different country, what to say, what not to say with teachers. I did the ELA as well, so I was mainly surrounded by other kids and teachers, and I was kind of shipped between two schools as well. So it was interesting to see how another curriculum works as well, and within a different culture. So I would say the best year was the year abroad. Not to say the other years aren't great as well, but the year abroad was definitely the highlight for myself.
I definitely think it definitely is the unique selling point on the program. And I think there are great things to highlight as well. The life skills that you gained in that year abroad, simple things like having to open a bank account, having to set up your phone, having to get settled in a new country, skills that students might otherwise not get if they were staying in Ireland, living at home. And then it's not until after graduation that they experience those things. So again, huge life skills outside of business and languages that you've gained during that time as well. So that is amazing to hear. So with the job that you're in now, so could you tell us, like, was that a job that you found during your time in college? Was that something you found afterwards, or how did you come into the role that you're in now?
So I was kind of led into it through the course that I'm doing at the moment, which is beauty therapy. But it was one of my main options. So I actually joined, or I decided to apply for the IBL course for the languages. I know most people decided to join for the business side. My main thing was languages because I love to connect with people. So I was immediately looking for kind of more hotel roles, if that makes sense, so hotel management or front desk operations, things kind of within that line of work where I could get to meet a wide range of people. Outside of the course, learning languages is kind of my main thing. I've taken up courses in the likes of Japanese, Korean. I'm still trying to keep up my Spanish. I'm trying to keep up my French as well. So it forces me to kind of practice daily when I get to meet guests. So the course, like it was one of the options. Another part was maybe to just go into finance or fintech in an international market as well. But the course itself didn't necessarily lead me to my current role, but going into beauty kind of helped push me into that role, and now I get to use both disciplines that I've got to acquire during my time in IBL.
Fantastic. And then is there any particular advice you'd give students like Lara if they're struggling to decide what they want to do, or if you could go back and talk to a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give?
One, don't rush. Just because your friends are applying for different graduate programs and the likes, don't feel pressure to rush into anything. Like, really listen to yourself, figure out what you wanted. I thought I would just try and get something in the likes of Deloitte or PVC or wherever, just because my friends were going into that. But I found that I'm just not a desk and typing kind of person. I like to be dynamic. I like to move. So me going into beauty was kind of inevitable because I also had that passion as well. But the main advice I'd give is just don't rush into anything. Figure out what you actually enjoy. Take on maybe an extra course after you graduate, because regardless of whether you do go into one of the business disciplines, you'll be taking courses anyways. If you want that promotion or if you want to excel in whatever position you find yourself in post graduation, you do still have to take either your QFAs, your FE1s if you're going into anything law based, or your I think, yeah, those are the main two, kind of like your business consultancy or leadership modules as well. Like even in the hotel, I would have to take leadership modules because I do training, and I do training in different languages as well. So don't rush into anything. Take an extra course if you need to, and just don't panic. You will figure it out. So just keep to yourself and keep to your passions, and you'll find yourself where you need to be.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Fazia, for sharing your experience. And hopefully, listening to our student ambassadors tonight has inspired everybody on the call. We would just like to remind people that it's not too late. If you haven't created your CAO yet, the late applications are open till the 1st of May. So it is still a possibility if you haven't applied to any university to create that application. And if you already have a CAO and you haven't mentioned international business and languages, or you have, but you would like to move it up your CAO to your first choice to guarantee an opportunity to be offered a place on the programme, we would like to remind people that the Change of Mind opens on the 6th of May. So to make note, the course code is TU965, and we ask that you put it up there as your first preference on your CAO choice. And of course, make sure again to check those minimum entry requirements for your language requirements specifically to make sure that you meet those. So if you are sitting your Leaving Cert this year, that you give your languages a special little bit of attention when it comes to sitting those exams. And I see we've had some questions coming in through the chat there, which thank you, Odette, has been answering very promptly there for us, which is great to see. And David has also dropped in the email address there for our courses at tudublin.ie for any outstanding questions, or maybe if you have a specific individual question that's around your own individual circumstances or situation that you don't want to ask in the chat, absolutely feel free to follow on. And if you're looking for any further follow-up information on the course, so around sample timetables, all those modules again, student progression pathways, you can find that on the course page for TU965, which we'll be able to drop the link to. And also with the recording, then you'll be able to watch this back. You'll see the slides, you'll get the email addresses and all will be on that there as well. And of course, I would point you to that course page again to watch that video that Catherine mentioned earlier, where you can hear more student testimonials from our student ambassadors and our student graduates from the programme. So we'll give it another minute or two, see if any more questions come into the chat there that anyone would like answered. And I suppose if Catherine, yourself, or Odette or Paul have anything else to add on the programme before we wrap up, happy to take that as well. And thank you, Catherine, for throwing in the languagestudies.ah@tudublin.ie as well. So I presume that's the direct line to languages for any direct queries there, which is brilliant.
I'm wondering whether Odette has been working with fourth years and graduates. Odette, have you anything that you might like to add just in relation to the research you've done over the last couple of weeks and months with graduates?
Yeah, just that, and Fauzia was one of those graduates that came along, and it was great to have her, and it was very positive. And what I think stood out for us is the fact that the IBL gives you very general knowledge in business, which gives you lots of opportunities, and that the languages, the fact that you can do two languages, really stands out from any other degree out there. Because the fact that you can go abroad as well. I mean, the year 3 repeatedly stands out as a great asset and a great experience. So I think the graduates, and you can look. Well, if you look for me, for instance, on LinkedIn, and you can see the people that I'm connected with, most people that I'm connected with are graduates of the program. And then that can give you a bit of an idea about their destination and the kind of jobs that they get, and their pathway as well after their graduation. But yeah, there are lots of exciting jobs out there for our graduates. So we of course highly recommend it. And I think Lara and Fauzia really gave you a good insight into that, as well as Catherine, of course. So we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Odette. Definitely. I think we can really stand to attest that Ireland's in full employment at the moment. So we have loads of jobs, and employers are eager to find the best graduates with those transferable skills, those language skills, and those business competency skills. So there really is a ton of options there. And as I mentioned earlier, our careers service as well host a series of graduate careers fairs and bring employers on site as well. So we really have lots of support there on site in the university to help ensure that our students all find employment on their graduation. And of course, with your year abroad, I'm sure opens many more doors as well for international opportunities. So that's great to see. So I think all of our questions now have been answered in the chat. So we would like to thank everybody for joining with us there this evening. And as we mentioned, the email addresses are there for any follow-up queries you may have after this. And as David has mentioned there as well in the chat, the recording of this webinar will be circulated in the coming days, so you can watch it back, and will also be made available on our website. So I just see there's one more question there, just looking for universities in Spain. So we might just answer that one then and wrap up for this evening.
Adding some in, we have more. So we're also in the process of renewing exchange agreements with different universities. So there's a little bit of a change here. We have about 35, 35 partnerships in total all across Europe, and they change a little bit from one year to the next. But we'll have that information in more detail when we have the students in with us. And it is one of the questions that students always ask: day one, year one, where can we go?
And there are a lot of partners in Spain as well. We have a lot of partnerships in Spain and in France particularly.
Fantastic. So everybody will definitely get something for them, something
Exactly.
they enjoy and somewhere they
Absolutely.
like. So fantastic to hear. And I'm sure it'll continue to grow as the popularity increases over the years. So thank you to all my fellow speakers this evening, to Catherine, to Lara, to Fauzia, to Odette and Paul there from the school as well, supporting us, and to my colleague David in the background who has supported us on tech. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you soon in TU Dublin. So have a great evening. Thank you.